Oh, good morning, everybody. Welcome to the first day of spring break. Today, we're going to talk with Miss Dron about running, about why you should avoid that last step on the first floor stairs, and about what it is that gets her out the door every morning. I had a great time talking with Miss Dron. She goes ahead and gives us a good this or that at the very end, and has some recommendations for you in terms of what to watch and great words of wisdom. Enjoy the interview. Catch you on the flip side. Now, hold on, gallery view. Great. Also, is it louder when I talk right here? Is it louder when I talk right here?
It is louder there.
Good. Okay, this is courtesy of Mr. Tralde. Great. Welcome to the show, everybody. We have Miss Dron with us here today. Hi, Miss Dron. Why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself to us out there?
Well, yeah. I'm Mrs. Dron. I teach freshmen this year. I teach world studies, English, and algebra with Mrs. Mansky. So I teach it all.
Wow.
Very busy.
Yeah. So what have you been doing during this quarantine to kind of keep with things?
I've been cooking as much as I can when we have fresh food, which is not very often because we only go to the grocery store like once every 10 days.
Uh-huh.
And been doing a lot of running, trying to stay sane by getting out of the house and getting some exercise.
Right. And it is finally, I think the last 35-degree night is tonight. And yesterday, I think I keep on saying it's the last cold day, and then there's always another cold day. But I think cold days are done. It's April.
It's looking good for this coming week. I'm excited about that.
Yeah. So I heard from some of your students that you have broken many a bone.
Yeah.
Now, when I think of breaking bones, I imagine people playing soccer. I imagine people boxing. I imagine volleyball, football, ATV riding, skydiving. I don't picture running, because running, you're by yourself. I mean, are you tackling people in running? I don't think you're tackling people in running. So what is this I'm hearing from your students that you've broken your bones?
Yeah, so I didn't even break any bones running. I broke bones this fall. Until September, I had only broken one bone in my life, and it was this pinky finger.
Was it crooked?
Is it? Yeah, it's crooked. Yep.
Very nice.
It was that pinky finger because in 7th grade, some kid threw a softball at me during PE class in 7th grade.
And that's when you became a runner, because you decided sports with balls?
No balls. Yeah. So I had only broken that bone until this September, and I actually fell down the stairs at Celorio, literally down one stair. I slipped and landed on the edge of the stair.
Which stair, so people can know to avoid it?
The same set of stairs twice. So the first time and the second time, same set of stairs, both the ones right outside the mirrors going up to the second floor.
So we should be taking the stairs in the middle of the building or on the north side of the building?
Safer. Yeah, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah, probably.
Great. Or take the elevator, unless you're not supposed to. Okay. So so you fell down the stairs, but only one stair. I
fell down one stair in September. It was embarrassing. Nobody was in the stairwell. I got a bruise from it. It was not a big deal. It didn't really hurt. It was more embarrassing. And then a week later, I was trying to do a run because I was training for the marathon in the fall. I had an 18-mile run that following Sunday.
Can you just confirm 18 miles, the distance between downtown Chicago and Joliet, 18 miles?
That's more
it's
40.
You're right. Yeah. Well, I'm trying to give you more credit. Okay, 18 miles downtown Chicago to Oak Lawn. No, that's less than 18. But yes, 18, 1-8.
18, 1-8. Yeah, 10 plus 8. I was doing an 18-mile run that Sunday, and I ran 14 of it, like pretty okay. And the last 4, I like basically collapsed into a very crying ball. I had to walk the last 4 miles in, and it was super painful, and I couldn't figure out what had happened. I was just like, something is wrong. It hurts. I can't run anymore. And I didn't find out. So that was September, like the end of September. I didn't find out till Halloween, basically, that I had broken my pelvis.
Wow.
Yeah.
And this was from the fall down the stairs.
Yeah.
And so this was, you fell down the stairs in late September, and then Halloween is basically November.
Yeah.
So you were walking around on a broken bone for a month.
Yeah. And in the middle of that, the Chicago Marathon happened, and I had to basically forego running the marathon because I couldn't run more than a mile without like being in such immense pain that I like started crying.
So
and
how
I
did
what was happening?
Yeah. So which was the worst feeling? The physical pain of running or the emotional pain of missing the marathon?
Well, it didn't hurt when I wasn't running. So on a day-to-day basis, I wasn't even bothered that my pelvis was broken, but like daily, I was upset that I wasn't getting to run the marathon. That was hard. So I was like, that was probably more painful.
So and then everything just healed up. Everything's
no. So then I found out I broke my pelvis, like right around Halloween, and like 3 weeks later, I was walking down the stairs, not up the stairs this time, down the stairs, same stairs in Celiac, tripped, missed a stair, landed on my foot funny, and broke 2 bones in my foot. So that was a real weird, like, series of events that I didn't expect. Went to a bunch of doctors, and they were like, yeah, these are all things that should happen to somebody who's like, in their early 80s.
And to clarify, you're not in your early 80s.
No, I'm not. No, I'm a little younger than that. So they had to like figure out what was going on with me because like I said, my bones were not being broken from running. At that point, I was not running anymore because they wouldn't let me because my pelvis is broken. So they did like a series of tests and some of them were like really surprising. Like, I don't know if you've heard of osteoporosis.
That's what the 80-year-olds get, right?
Yeah. So it's like people who have like really weak bones. They say like, you're not drinking enough milk or whatever. Like, I have osteoporosis. Like they diagnosed me with osteoporosis. That's why I broke my bones. And I'm a healthy person. So like that was weird.
How did it feel to get that diagnosis? I mean, did it feel
like
bad?
I was 8 years old.
So that was a bad feeling.
That one was not a good feeling because I always had heard that like if you don't like build up your bones while you're young, then like you can't build them up anymore when you get old. And I'm starting to get old, so I'm like worried that I can't build up my bones anymore. And now I'm just like destined to have really terrible bones for the rest of my life. But
so, and then I think I know I was talking to your husband, Mr. Dron. For anybody who didn't realize that Mr. Dron and Mrs. Dron are husband and wife.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert, they are. And he was talking about these new ways of eating.
Yeah.
In your household that involve not eating bread.
Yeah. So
I believe. So tell us a little bit about that and maybe any connections to the osteoporosis.
Yeah. So one of the things that they diagnosed me with osteoporosis, they had to do like a scan of my body to see like what my bones looked like on the inside. They looked like webs instead of like, like tightly packed bones. That's how they see that it's osteoporosis. And they said, this is not usual. Like, this is really bad. There's a reason why you have osteoporosis. And it turns out the reason I have osteoporosis is that I was diagnosed with celiac disease, which is something that most people have like heard of maybe, but like don't actually know what it is. I was one of those people. I like thought I knew kind of what it was, and I really didn't. So yes, celiac disease is an autoimmune disease, which means that my body, when I eat things that have gluten in it, like bread and pasta and basically like anything with wheat. When I eat it, my body attacks itself to protect me from the gluten. So I can't eat gluten anymore for the rest of my life. So like I have to eat special bread. I have to I can't eat my favorite cereals anymore. Like cake, anything that's made with flour, I can't have. Otherwise my body will continue to like attack itself, specifically in my small intestine.
So, this seems like, I mean, obviously this seems like a big change, but in terms of being able to potentially get back to running, you see it as definitely worth it?
Oh my gosh, I was so happy actually to be diagnosed with celiac disease.
Right.
In terms of running.
So tell us about that. A lot of people would say, "Oh, this is terrible," and they wouldn't even be thinking about running. But you're thinking about running. So what is it about running? What is it about running that when I asked you earlier, what are you doing to get by? You said, "Oh, it's some things, and I'm out running."
Yeah.
So it seems like running is a massive part of your life.
It is. It is.
Why?
It's why? I don't actually know. I describe it as it's the time I feel the most myself. Like when I'm out running, whether I'm by myself or like with somebody else, with a team, I feel the most myself. I think there's definitely like endorphins. You get endorphins from exercise. It's like the best way to get in a good mood. I've been running since I was 10 years old, and it's just like been my thing. I was really lucky to find that so early on in life. And I really, really enjoy a physical challenge. I have a really high pain tolerance, and running checks that. So yeah, like being able to, so when I was diagnosed with celiac disease, the reaction was twofold. One was, this sucks. This is terrible. I can't eat cake. Funfetti cake is like one of my favorite things in the world. I love bread and pasta and having Fruit Loops at night. Like I love all those foods. So that was really hard. But the other part of it was, wow, I have celiac disease and I've had this for a long time. And I've been doing okay with running. Right. But now that I like know this about me, maybe I could be even better now if I like heal myself from it and my body's not constantly attacking itself. Like maybe I could be even better.
So it's almost like, it's like the student who gets to 6th grade and then realizes that they can't see the board and they get a pair of glasses and like, oh, well, this could have all made so much more sense to me.
Yeah. Like these glasses are annoying to wear and sometimes they get like things in but I can finally see, like this could be great.
Yeah. So, I mean, you obviously already appreciated running, but as you've come to maybe realize like, oh, I need to really take advantage of every run I can go on. Yeah. What are the things that make up the best run? And maybe if you can pull it out of your memory, what's the best run you've ever been on?
The best run.
Or what do you look for a fantastic run?
So there's one run that sticks out in my mind that was maybe I could say the best run I've ever been on. I was in high school. My team went to cross country camp. Like we all took a bus. We went to Kettle Moraine State Park. Uh-huh. I don't actually know which state it's in. Is it in Wisconsin?
It's in Wisconsin, yeah.
Okay, Wisconsin.
Yeah, up there in Wisconsin.
So we went there as a team, and it had beautiful paths. They were like wood chips, so they were soft to run on. And it was a hard run. It was super hilly, so like literally like incline, decline. Right. It had some really pretty views, but the reason it was the best run I've ever been on was because even though it was super hard, like I was running with really good friends of mine who were on my team, and every time the run got hard, every time we had to run up the hill, because there were a gajillion hills, we would shout out like what we were dedicating that hill to. So like, for example, one moment in particular that really like stands out in my mind is my grandma was like really old at that time, and she had like come to see me run and stuff before, and I was like worried for her health. So we're like running up the hill, and I was like, this one's for my grandma. And then I just like charged up the hill. And like, it was really challenging. Like, I don't even think I can explain just how hilly the course was, and how, like, we were out there for like, I don't know, over an hour that we were supposed to be running, and it was hot because it was August. But it was just like so intense and like emotional, and just like achieving it every time that we like overcame a hill was really, really cool.
Awesome.
That was probably my favorite. Yeah.
And then, so, I mean, in terms of when you're running, and this really is maybe more of a this or that question.
Sure.
Do you see like the best runs, do they end with happy crying, or they end with laughing? Like, what do they end with, or what's?
Best runs always run with a smile. I don't know that I've cried at many runs. Maybe in pain.
I meant happy crying, not pain crying, but
yeah.
Maybe sounds like for you, maybe those are the same.
Maybe. Yeah, best runs always end with a smile, and just like lots of breathing heavy because I couldn't have done any more.
Yeah. So if there's a student out there now who's saying, oh, wow, this sounds like an awesome thing to do, how would you recommend, what's the first step they should take today in terms of getting started running?
Put on a pair of shoes, go outside, take a walk, try to jog a little bit on your walk, and just like really like get inside yourself, because that's where running is fun. Like, it's a physical challenge if you want it to be, but the reason that people run for the most part is that it's a chance for them to connect just to them at that moment, like without any distractions. And you could be listening to music and, you know, like a podcast. I've been doing a lot of podcasts on my runs lately, but it's like, that's why running is good. Like, people are annoyed with running, or they hate to do it, like in PE class, or, you know, like in other sports, they're like, this is punishment, you know.
Right.
But, like, if you do running for the joy of running, it's awesome. It's the best.
Yeah. Great. I concur. So we're moving into the recommendation time of the show. I'm just going to ask, you know, recommendations for what you're reading, what you're watching, and then one song that you would recommend to students.
Okay. What I'm reading is running related. Surprise, surprise. It's a book called Strong by Kara Goucher, who is my favorite female runner. My daughter is named after her.
There we go. And your son is named after a unit of measurement.
It is. My son's name is Miles. You know, we like running in the Dron house. So Strong is a book by Kara Goucher. It's just basically about like goal setting and mindset. And so I'm, especially with like getting over injury from the fall and like getting back into running, that's what I'm really enjoying. What was the second one? What am I watching?
What are you watching, or what did you watch recently that you enjoyed?
We just finished Tiger King.
There you go. Yeah, I knew that one was coming.
Yeah.
So
we also we watched a documentary last night on the Barclays Marathons, which I highly suggest to you.
Yes. Which one is it? The one with the bearded fellow?
Yes. I think it was on Amazon Prime.
Yeah, there are two of them, and they're both. I mean, the Barclays Marathon, for those who don't know, is probably the world's hardest race.
Yep.
It's 24 hours or 48 hours?
It's 60 hours long.
60 hours.
Yeah. You have to do 5 loops of a mountain trail in Tennessee. There are no trail markings, so you don't know where you're going. You have to use a map and a compass to figure out how to get to where you need to be. Each loop takes the really good runners like 7.5 hours to complete.
Yeah. And isn't it the elevation equivalent of climbing Mount Everest?
Yeah.
A couple of times.
Twice, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it goes through the night. So they start at whatever time in the morning, and then you run for 60 hours.
Right.
You
I
finished 5 loops.
really recommend. That documentary might still be on YouTube.
Oh, maybe.
Well, we'll see. There are 2 of them, so I'll put both of them in the links. And then one song, and maybe we can think about what song were you listening to when you were 15? If students like, I'm sick of today's music. I've been stuck at home. I've been listening to all today's music. I want to listen to Miss Dron's music. What's one song you'd recommend?
The first one that came to mind was from a cross-country CD that one of the girls in high school made for me, and Send Me On My Way was on it. I don't even know who sings that. Is that Rusted Root?
That sounds right.
Okay. Yeah. Send Me On My Way.
Send Me On My Way. Look in the comment box. Yeah, I'm listening to Summer Girls by LFO right now.
See, that's a good one.
LFO stands for Light Funky Ones, which is
Light
a
Funky
strange,
Ones.
yeah.
With a
Okay.
Y.
Yeah.
Light.
So, all right, we're going to move into the this or that portion of the show, and then we're going to have a really quick Ask Science question that I know will be controversial.
Okay.
But this or that, just off the top of your head.
Okay.
You just got to answer right away. Okay. Crocs or flip-flops?
Flip-flops.
April or October?
April.
Cross country or track?
Cross country.
Facebook or Instagram?
Instagram.
Text message or call?
Text message.
First period off or 8th period off?
8th period off.
Treadmill or outside?
Outside.
Downhill or uphill?
Downhill.
Trail or track?
Trail.
Long run or speed work?
Long run.
Cubs or Sox?
Socks.
Slam dunk or hole in one?
Slam dunk.
Senior year or junior year?
Senior year.
Crunchy or smooth peanut butter?
Smooth. Always smooth.
Okay,
Never crunchy.
I don't know why you'd want smooth. Like, or do you want to forget that there are even peanuts involved? It doesn't make sense to me. Okay, so for the final question of the day, and this is an Ask Science question. Who is faster at running, you or Mr. Dron? And answer that however not, this is an Ask Science question, so you can get technical science-wise.
Cool. Okay, so if we were to race each other, he would win. So if that's how you want to determine who's faster, Mr. Dron would be faster. If you asked him this question, he would probably say me. For many years, I had the faster marathon time in our house, and he has been telling me that I could bring his marathon time down as soon as I get back in shape and back running again and in my peak condition. So he's faster than I am, but
Sounds
I'm
like there's a but.
faster. Yes, but I'm faster for a girl than he is for a guy.
So who's faster?
Me, I guess.
You heard it here, folks. Miss Dron is faster than Mr. Dron. All right, that's all the time we have for today. Thank you for being on the show.
Loved it.
Any challenges for the students out there who might be watching?
Yes. So I've been taking my students on my runs with me this week. So I videoed a couple seconds of me running and just sharing my run with them. And today I posted for my freshmen in Google Classroom to challenge them to pick a really awesome song, jam out to it, and do something active, because I was in a really terrible mood this morning and I went for my run and I felt so much better afterwards. So my challenge is find an awesome song, turn it up, dance around your room, dance with your dog, go outside and run around your block, do something active and jam out.
Great. I'm going to take you up on that with a little bit of Summer Girls by LFO.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you for being here, Miss Dron. It was awesome to have you on the show.
Thank you.
And sorry to Mr. Dron that it's not as good as Howard Stern show.
Yeah.
Okay.
Don't tell him faster.
All right. Wow. Thanks, Miss Dron. We're going to be taking a break from this show for the next week, but come back on Monday, April 13th for some new episodes, starting with Mr. Graciosa. Until then, if you've got any questions or requests, send them on in. Thinking about getting a live chess match going with Miss Rancel. Let me know what you'd like to see on the show. And for the next week, go ahead, keep reading, Keep those pencils sharp, enjoy the weather, and stay safe out there. Signing off for now, this is Mr. Buse.